I'm Rob from hobzine.com. Thanks for joining me for another Homebrew Wednesday video. It's actually the second attempt I've made at making a Homebrew Wednesday video, but the last brew went completely disastrous and obviously I deleted those files. Anyway, this is the first successful Homebrew Wednesday Brewday video. I'm just heating up my strike water at the moment. I've got a bit of a late start. It's going to be kind of noon by the time I get going, but I've got a day off work, so I thought, why not brew a beer? This is actually for a specific purpose, this beer. There is a group in the north of England called the Northern Home and Craft Brewers Association. It's a group of kind of predominantly home brewers, but some local kind of low scale micro brewers also attend this thing, and there is a competition. I'm not entering the competition. The competition is for English IPAs. The reason why I'm not entering is that I'm actually judging the competition. I'm one of the judges, along with Zach Avery and a few others. But I have been asked to brew a beer for the bar. I think about 6 of us are going to brew beers for the bar. I'm feeling a bit of pressure, to be honest, that I'm going to have to brew a beer which is going to go in a little pin or a poly pin or something like that, and go on handpull. I'm going to design a pump clip and all that kind of jazz. So it's really exciting. It's a fantastic opportunity. So big thanks to Adrian down at Saltaire Brewery, and also you'll know him on Twitter and from his website PDTNC. Yeah, he asked me to brew a beer for the bar, so it's really interesting. It's really exciting. I'm feeling a bit of the pressure. Anyway, the beer in question is an IPA. It's about 6.5%. It's the malt bill is predominantly Marisota, and then I've got 9% German Munich malt, and then about 3% Cara malt to give it a bit of colour and a bit of sweetness. The hops I'm using, it's just Simcoe. I was never a big fan of Simcoe for a while, to be honest, and then the other week at the Brewed bar in Camden I had their IPA's Dead Simcoe, and I really liked it. And the next day I got a bottle of Weyerbocker's Double Simcoe, and I was like, I really want to do a big Simcoe beer. As it turns out, Adrian, PDTNC, had bought a big chunk of brand new fresh Simcoe, so I bought some off him. I've got some already in the cupboard, so it's going to be a nice kind of rounded bitterness. Hopefully, I've got additions, 20 gram additions at 60, 30 and 15. Then I'm going to put a load in at 0 minutes, and then I'm going to once again put a load in the dry hopping, and then I'm also going to put about 50 grams dry hops in the cask as well. So that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if these these people who are brewing English IPAs are going to be up for a really big dank IPA. Anyway, I haven't got a title for it at the moment, so the dankness has already been taken. What a fantastic name that is for a beer. Anyway, boils on. I'll see you in a minute when I'm mashing in. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Cheers. So I'm just mashing in. Can't really see much at the moment. Just pouring my grain. I've got some in. Probably strike temperature pretty much 78 degrees. Got my grain temperature up to 21, so that's absolutely ideal. I'm going to mash in for, I think I'm going to mash in for 90 minutes actually. Just put that down for a second. I'm going to mash in for 90 minutes, a bit longer this time. It's 6.5%. I think it could do with a little bit longer. Just going to get everything out of this grain. And also, it's the second day of Bradford Beer Festival today, and it is about 100-yard walk from my front door. So I thought it'd be an absolute shame not to pass by this afternoon, and it's free for me to get in. So I thought I'll do that. I'll go get some lunch. I'll go and have a couple of halves, only a couple of halves. See who I bump into. Probably bump into somebody. Have a chat. Have a beer, and I'll come back and I'll run off my wort. See you in a bit. So I'm just taking my first run-ins from my mash. I mashed in for about an hour, probably a bit longer. Topped up with about another 9.5 litres, and then I left it to settle for a bit longer as well, maybe about 10-15 minutes. So I'm just running it off. At the moment, I think it's becoming quite clear already, which is good. Colour at the moment really nice and dark, so obviously your first runnings are always a lot darker than when you start sparging. But yeah, just kind of recirculating this, pouring it back into the mash tun and running it off. So I'll probably see you when I start boiling. Hi, so I'm back. I've just started my 60-minute boil, just put in 20 grams of Simcoe. I'm going to add another 20 grams at 30 minutes. I like that 30-minute hop addition. I think it gives a nice kind of roundness to the bitterness. I was getting a bit concerned that the hops I had were a bit old and might be getting a bit powdery. My last beer I had to dump because it all got kind of clogged up in the hop strainer. It was an absolute disaster, so I got a bit concerned. And I had 2 packs and they're quite old, so I've stuck them in this. That's kind of like the end of some tides, which is sanitised. That's what I use for dry hopping. So I've got a shitload in there. So I'm going to put that in at the end. But also, I've got 200 grams. This is one of 2 packs off a friend. This is super fresh Simcoe. It's sticky and resinous, so it should be really good for my kind of late hop additions and obviously my post-boil hops. I'm gonna dry hop in the fermenter and in the cask. So yeah, as you can see just behind me, that looks awesome, doesn't it? Just as the light's hitting the steam coming out of my boiler, looks awesome. Looks like a proper mad scientist thing going on. Anyway, there we go. I'm back in focus. Yeah, so. Some loads of light hops on this one. I'm keeping the IBUs to about 65, 70, I think it was around that. So nice and drinkable, a decent whack of alcohol, but hopefully loads and loads of flavour and aroma from this one. So anyway, I'll probably see you again just before I start, just as I'm got my work chiller in there and I'm adding my kind of late additions. Anyway, see you in a bit. Right, so I'm back. I've just turned the boil off, 60 minutes in total. I've just put in my post-boil hops. I've put in some uber fresh, I'm just going to get a little bit here, 50 grams of super fresh Simcoe. Got some bits hanging around, there, get it in. Let's give it a rub. Yeah, 50 grams of really fresh Simcoe. Oh, it smells amazing. Oh wow, I've been converted to Simcoe big time. So yeah, so 50 grams in the post boil, work chiller's on. It's probably going to take like 25-30 minutes to kind of get down to about 23 degrees where I'm going to pitch some yeast, just using US-05 dried yeast. I do have, for my next brew, a White Labs vial of San Diego super yeast, which will be my first foray into using dried yeast. So yeah, so that's the end of the brew. I hope it turns out well. I hope I don't get a stuck mash strainer like I did on the last brew, which was an absolute nightmare. The one thing that I don't think went as well as I kind of hoped. I don't know if I accounted that well for the amount of liquor that the grain would gonna take away, so I've come up a bit short. I might get away with about, like, I'm thinking maybe 17-18 litres. I was looking for 23, which is a bit disappointing. But I compensated for 7 litres lost to trub and to absorption and stuff like that. So yeah, I did my calculations and it just didn't kind of come off. All I'm bothered about, to be honest, is that the beer tastes nice in the end. So hopefully this beer is going to be served on the bar down at Saltaire Brewery towards the end of March. If you're lucky enough to be there, be lucky enough to drink this beer. I hope it's nice. Anyway, I'm Rob from popzine.com. This has been my first Brewday Homebrew Wednesday video as well. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon. Cheers.